on building teams, one thing I've learned really the hard way is that you really can't change people all that much. I was a psychology major, so whenever I had team members or employees with problems, I always thought, wow, well, I could just work with them and talk to them about their problem and their issue, and they'll turn around and No. If you have any doubt about a member of your team, there is no doubt. You have to get rid of them and replace them. And when you get good people in your company, you need to fire them immediately. Because anybody who is good is taking up a seat for somebody who is excellent or great. Good people should not work at startup companies. Good people should work at big companies. That's what big companies are for. If you want to go work at a big company and you're going to manage thousands of people, it's easier to manage 1,000 good people than it is to manage 10 amazing people. 1,000 good people will just do what you tell them. I did a good job, thank you. Here's your gold star. Go back to work. Yes, we're all going to go to the happy hour on Friday. But excellent people, just you put a half dozen excellent, amazing people in a room, they will argue and fight and make it uncomfortable. You'll tell them to do something, they won't do it. They'll come back to you. Oh yeah, I know you said to do it that way, boss, but you were wrong, so I did it this way because obviously you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I have these people in my company and I love them, but I mean, it's infuriating sometimes when I'm like, hey, can you do this? And they're like, yeah, no, we totally understand that that's what you wanted us to do. And we ignored it, like the uncomfortable people, the people who are hard to manage, those are the people you want. Those are the people who are going to get shit done, the people who argue and fight and will stand for a position. The problem is people create management structures inside startup companies, and that's the kiss of death. And when they do that, and they try to say, let's just we'll decide on something that everybody can agree on, and that's death. That's not startup companies. That's big companies that produce shitty products. The best companies tend to be like dictatorships with insane generals. Like that's a great startup company. It's like you have this great dictator who's like, we're going to conquer, this continent. And then there's a bunch of generals who have to this guy's taking the beach, that one's taking the mountain, and they fight with each other, and it's just messy and hard. That's what it should be. But people want to, in their minds, have this a collaboration and the soft, gentle thing. It's not startup. So if you're thinking about starting a company and you want that crunchy granola nonsense, you will fail. I cannot tell you how many startups I've seen with soft founders and they're trying to build, what's that terrible word, consensus? God, you think there was any consensus in the iPhone or the iPad? I mean, if they brought the iPad to Steve Jobs and there was some consensus about some feature, he'd throw it at them, he'd smack them in the head with it, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is not right, and that's actually true. They came to him first with the iPad, and he said this wasn't good enough, but he said, make a phone, and then we'll make the iPad in 5 years. It's a true story.
You've been watching This Week in Startups. To watch the full episode, click here. To check out some other shows from This Week In, click here.